We are here with the founder, the CEO, Oljan. I'm going to let you introduce your brand because I feel like you are going to do it justice. You've got a passion for diamonds, a passion for design, and really growing something that, like diamonds themselves, is going to be hopefully indestructible in the future.
Before you go any further, welcome back to Freedomimpact Trust, guys.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
So I'm straight into
Me.
it. I was so excited about this because like jewelry, design, it's my home. It's where I feel comfortable with. I love it.
I'm not going to lie, on the way to this podcast, I was on the internet Googling a load of different diamonds, just figuring out what's what and how diamonds actually work. And I've realized I fell in love with diamonds.
Right. They're very easy to fall in love with.
Like fell in
Very
love
easy.
with them.
Especially here, the backdrop. If you're
Especially,
watching.
exactly. I feel like a kid in a candy store every time I come in.
So have you always loved diamonds? Have you known?
I always have. Yeah, I was born into the business. It's one of our family businesses in Turkey. And growing up, I had a very close relationship with the business and the brand. You know, I was always intrigued by what my mother's wearing or, you know, what my friends are wearing. Yeah, so it doesn't really feel like work to me.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about it.
Can you ever remember what like the first diamond you actually laid your eyes on and was like, wow, I love this?
I do remember, yes. It was actually a paperweight of my dad's desk.
Okay. Not what I thought you were going to say.
Wow. Yeah.
I know. Sounds a bit obnoxious.
I mean, if he doesn't mind lending me that paperweight, I'll
imagine. Yeah, it was his office at home, thankfully not at the workplace, not at the store. But yeah, I was astonished.
Yeah, and
So
then
I
ever
think-
since then you've just fell in love with it. That's
Yeah,
it.
so obviously as a child, now you're an adult, and now you've got this business. At what point, being part of the family business, coming to London from Turkey, like being like, okay, this is where I'm going to set up. This is going to be the base. And where was that first seed of creating this business? Where was the kind of the dream to making it reality?
Well, my father created the brand 30 years ago. Jewelry is one of his businesses in Turkey. The plan was for me to graduate from university here and then go back and take it over there. You know, I wasn't meant to stay here and open up a shop here. So I kind of strayed away from the initial plan. So yeah, once I finished my studies here, I thought, you know, what better place than here to have a shop, and maybe even in the future to move our headquarters here, because we already have distributors across Europe. We have distributors in Italy, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. So I wanted to have something here in London.
I mean, it's
where
the
we can
place to
expand.
be, the capital city.
It really is.
The best
Yeah,
city, one of the best
it's
cities.
difficult to let go of the city once you live here for a couple of years. You know, once you get a taste of London, good luck living anywhere
I
else.
completely agree with that. I'm a northerner. I weren't from the north, but ever since coming to London, I fell in love with the place. There's so much to do, so much
Just
opportunity.
the opportunity on one side, but also that knowing that everybody always comes through London. Wherever you are in the world, you're always going to fly through London, or you know that when you're here, there's always going to be somebody else from wherever you are in the world. And I think that's one thing with your market. It must be so valuable to have that kind of like, okay, you're here, check out the new season, the new opportunities. And the one thing that I want to talk about is your brand. It's so bespoke. The opportunity, it's so unique. It's so identifiable. You are your brand on one side. You're always wearing the jewelry. You're always promoting it. But what is it about these certain pieces that kind of really identify the brand that it is?
Well, I would say you could define our brand identity as high-end multifunctional jewelry. So all of our signature collections are multifunctional and kinetic. In other words, they can move and you can wear them in more ways than one.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so for example, we have rings that you can expand and become bracelets. We have necklaces that you can wear in 3 different ways.
Wait, did you just say you have a ring which can expand to become a bracelet?
Yes.
I have never seen or heard of something like that.
It's one of our
ever.
signature
I love
pieces.
That.
Yeah. And not only do we offer creations from our own factory in Turkey and our own designers, but we work with different artisans and creators from all over the world. So you get to see a wide scope of futuristic high-end jewelry that no other store or shop or brand in the world offers at the moment.
Do you have to go out and find these creators?
Yes.
I do. Go out and you do.
I attend fairs quite often around the world, and I try to scout out collections or designers that are unique.
Yeah.
Is it the personality? Like, say you go into these sort of events, and obviously it's thousands of people with thousands of different designs. What makes the one stand out from you, the artist or the collection, that you think, oh, actually, it's unique for this reason? What draws you to it, considering you've probably seen everything in the business now?
I've seen quite a lot, yeah. So the most important criteria for me is for it to fit our brand identity, which is multifunctionality.
Yes.
So now when I'm looking for a piece or a collection, I don't just look at how aesthetically pleasing it looks. I pay attention at the mechanics of it. You know, if you can move it, if you can wear it in a different way, in a different shape, in a different size. So that's what I really pay attention to.
Do you prefer to work with gold or white gold, yellow gold? How do you prefer to work with when you're like putting your diamonds in bracelets or in rings and stuff?
Well, it really changes. We work with white gold, yellow gold, and rose gold. Yeah. We don't work with silver.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But yeah, we work with all kinds of gold.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. My type of guy. I'm a gold guy. Yellow gold guy.
I'm a gold guy as well.
Yeah, always.
No,
always.
gold is definitely close to our hearts, that's for sure. I don't know why. Dad's always had a gold necklace. We've always worn gold necklaces. I've never taken my necklace off.
Yeah.
For me,
ever.
It's from our nan. She always used to wear a little gold necklace. It wasn't anything crazy or super amazing, but it was a little gold necklace with like nice little green emblem on it, and it was just beautiful. And ever since then, gold has been my cup of tea.
Yeah, I love gold myself as well. Yellow gold especially. Sometimes a bit too much.
Yeah.
As I hear, but
When you've got it all around you like this.
How can I not?
Use
exactly.
it.
Talking about stories, like each piece of jewelry is a story to people. Can we talk through the process of, if, say, I walk in and I say, I would like this piece of jewelry, a ring, for example, designed in this aspect. What is that journey? How do they go from like, hi, I want this, to, oh my God, it's here in its beautiful box?
Yeah, do you have like a sketch artist, the whole lot? Like what?
We certainly do. We offer bespoke design. So customers have the opportunity to come in and create an incredibly unique piece that only they will have in the entire world. So how the process goes is they schedule an appointment with one of our designers, a member of our design team. Then they come in, they sit down with the designer. They tell their ideas, whatever's going through their heads. The designer jots it down, goes back, creates different renders for the customer. Then we send it to the customer and ask which ones he likes the most. After that, the designer goes back again and creates a final render for the customer to approve. Once that happens, we acquire the stones, send it to our factory, gets produced. The process in itself takes around, I would say, 4 to 5 weeks.
That's
Actually,
pretty quick.
I was going to say it's faster than I thought.
That's
it was
very
gonna
quick.
be,
Yeah. We're one of the quickest actually when it comes to bespoke design, because you'll find most other jewelers, they take around, some take 3-4 months. It's not an easy process.
Because I was going to say, if someone's asking for a coloured diamond or something, did my research, found out a red diamond, I believe, is one of the most rarest ones.
It is
They're
one,
not going to be easy to find, are they?
Yeah, but precious diamond, fancy diamonds in general are quite difficult to find.
And is this process being brought down to this, as in our opinion, quite quick process because you've been doing it so many years? You have your connections. You're fundamentally ready to go. Everybody that's there is ready to go.
We do, and what really speeds up the whole process is that we have our own factory, and I tell you, it's way easier than having another factory do it for you. It makes the whole process a whole lot quicker.
And I think one thing that's intriguing for me is kind of like these kind of pieces, these mechanical movements.
Well, there's one on the screen.
I know.
I've just seen it
quite
rotating
addictive.
around.
Right there. Yeah.
It's in the market where, to be honest, in jewelry itself, I find more so, and this market's probably changed, and I would like to think it's going to evolve even more. People can get a lot of jewelry now that everybody knows what certain brands are identified by certain pieces. But with yourself, it's kind of like, well, that is so unique. Do you find that's kind of captivating more people to come your way?
It certainly is, because nowadays people don't want to wear something that every other person out on the street is going to have.
Yeah.
You know, certain big name jewelry brands have become so overexposed in the last couple of years. So we find that nowadays people are looking for something unique, something more authentic. You know,
What do you say you sell more of? Rings, necklaces, or bracelets? Is there anything particular which you
in the last year, we've sold rings the most. I would say there's
engagement rings, and
we do engagement rings as well. Engagement rings too, but I've realized actually that men are now growing a liking towards rings as well compared to previous years. So we've sold a lot of rings. After rings, I would say bracelets.
When it comes to men and it comes to rings, actually, because I know not all women, but a lot of women, they love diamonds.
I'm surprised you
and
haven't.
a lot of diamonds. Well, I've got
You always wear 1 or 2 rings, don't you?
No, I always wear this ring. There's a little story behind it. My granddad gave me this after myself and AJ. Unfortunately, we got attacked in a nightclub one time, and then my granddad gave me this ring, sort of like a get well and good luck thing, and I've never taken it off ever since. Little gold with a tiny little diamond in. I won't get you to look at it because it's probably not. It's probably a very clouded diamond and needs a good clean and stuff. But yeah, but I do love my rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing, like the market, like you've seen, like the diamond market is growing consistently each year. And I think that one side being female and kind of like, okay, they get the ring, the necklace, it's one stereotype, whereas now that market must be expanding so much, as you said, like guys coming in, and even people wanting. I feel like now it's a present for everything, isn't it? It's like obviously you got Christmas, your birthdays, your engagement. Now it's like a push present. And there's another. What's the latest trend of things that people want? Because within your market, like I feel like everybody's always giving. Everybody's always wanting to be kind and obviously receive at the same time.
And there's no better gift than jewelry.
Yeah, literally, jewelry is
the best gift you can get someone.
It makes you smile from ear to ear. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like I remember, I got my girlfriend Zara like something from here, and it was about that personal touch. It was actually finding a piece that's actually. The personality on one side, but also small, and like I think the opportunity is endless when it comes to jewelry.
And I think what's one of the most important things with a gift is that it shouldn't be just something that looks pretty.
Yes.
Like the gift that you got, it was symbolic.
Yeah, 100%.
So the meaning behind the gift is very important as well. Like an evil eye, for example, they believe that if you give someone an evil eye, it protects them from negative energy. So the meaning is quite crucial as well in a gift.
Talking about the meanings and like the designs behind us, like there's so many different designs. Like, how do you come up with like what is going to be the next? I don't want to use the word craze because I feel like that's a negative word, but the next kind of opportunity. Like a lot of jewelry brands have done like functional things, like you can say like I'm going to call it. It sounds awful when I say this out loud. Like mechanical parts, like obviously nuts, bolts, like, and then just turning them, putting gold and putting diamonds in them. But like most of your jewelry always has a different meaning, and you use lots of flowers. You use lots of like what I would class as like natural, organic kind of
shape symbols.
I'm not finding the right word here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going
inspired
circles.
From nature.
Yes. Perfect. That's why you're where you are.
Because he's got the words and the magic behind it. Actually, I do want to say what's better, the size of a diamond, or would you say the quality? If you're going for an engagement ring or you're going for an investment, quality or size, which is better to look for?
Well, the size is certainly important. There's 4 criteria when it comes to defining the quality of a diamond.
Run us through these, please.
You guys can
see.
Yeah. So it's color, carat, cut, and also the carat, most importantly. So you can really grade a diamond based on these 4 categories. It's not just the size. The quality of a diamond is defined by these 4.
And you see.
And if you say size, I guess carats really defines the size of the piece. Of the diamond. So it's one of the components that define the quality, but it's not the only thing. No.
And I'm probably going to ask a very silly question now, but you see all diamonds are in the shape of, well, a diamond.
No, and do they the physical cut of it
into that shape, don't they? They don't come how you have these all, like in that diamond.
Exactly. They get cut. There's different cuts that are available, and they get cut into that shape.
I was just thinking it doesn't just come out the ground like that.
No.
For anybody out there that was wondering that,
no,
I am that person.
Things would be so much easier then. If only I wish they did. Yeah.
Is that a hard process then to cut diamonds into them shapes? And
it's a very delicate process. Yes.
So do you do it yourself, or do you send them off?
Yeah. We do that in our factory. Yeah. It takes a lot of experience, and as I said, it's a very delicate process. You can damage the diamond while doing that.
I was just thinking, how does
So
somebody do that as the first
care.
time? Yeah, how do you like imagine?
And if you
start small, obviously.
If you do damage a diamond, actually cutting it, I assume then, well, it's unlucky. Like, have you lost out slightly?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I try not to employ people that's going to be their first time. I look for expertise. Because exactly, if you get that wrong,
I do have to ask, has that happened before?
it has a couple of times.
What we won't go into detail.
You just looked down. You had a painful look down.
I know
there.
my heart skipped a beat for you then when you said
It has. I mean, accidents always happen. But we try to minimize that as much as we can.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. That was Freedom Impact Trust. We hope you've enjoyed it. We've loved chatting once again. Please leave a comment below because it really helps the algorithm and helps get the podcast out there. And also, let us know if there's any financial questions which you want answering, and we can answer them in the pod next week. Like I said, share, like, comment, subscribe, and let everybody know about the podcast.
And thank you to our sponsors, FINT, the financial investment app, where you can invest from as little as £50 a month.
£50?
Yes, £50, Curtis.
Well, wow, it's an absolute bargain. And don't forget, it's through 3 different portfolios. So choose the one that you like and get investing.
Have a great day.
See you later, guys.